It usually hangs open like that, so you can grab. Oh, that one's not good. That one's good. And you know.
So you can kind of just do it next time.
Because one thing that happens a lot under fire is you miss whether or not your gun went off. Because that kick doesn't always register. And if you load a null charge down it, and you put a ball down there, when you put the next charge in, you will get nothing. You have to dig out the wall. Or out there, sorry, dig out the first wall. So it completely invalidates your gun fire. The other problem is if you're leaving glass, you have to make a shot. Caliber would make it easier to get more gas. But the problem is double turn. I mean, double turn cartridge today guns can still go off. And they didn't have quite the big risk. Yeah, you double turn it for the fire before. And nobody wants that. Well, I mean, maybe the guy shooting at you does, but. So they come up with this, which is cumbersome. But when you look at what you would have to do on a battlefield without it, this streamlines the process tremendously. Which one, the bottle or the? The whole system is a bandolier. And that one's running away, and I don't know how.
And each of those is filled with gunpowder?
One shot's worth. And everybody's going to have a different amount because you've all got different guns. Like, there's an arquebus in there. It's on the top of our rack. That's a 1550s, 1560s type of weapon. It doesn't have near the power that this does. In fact, from here to that building, it won't penetrate a good armor. That's how far armor has come in the past 50, 60 years. So they send that here because it's cheap military surplus. You know, it's like when the Afghanis were fighting the Soviets. You had guys going out there literally with matchlock rifles. But as soon as they hit a Soviet, they'd go get his AK because they knew better. So you've got that kind of issue going on with that. I'm gonna close that up because it's bothering me.
I'm sorry, what was the name again of that thing?
The whole system?
Yeah.
Bandolier.
Bandolier.
Think
Is it French?
that
Yeah,
thing
French
that Chewbacca wears. That's a bandolier. That supposedly has his ammunition, you know, so that he can fire those bolts. I would guess it's Spanish rather than French, but there might not be any real difference other than the pronunciation because I don't speak either French or Spanish. I picked German because what could possibly be more useful in this part of the world? So.
Okay, and then were there instances where they had to decide to fight with a sword?
If the enemy gets on you and you can't reload, this is your backup. If something breaks down in this, it's your backup. But I'm actually wearing a longer sword than a musketeer would typically wear. This is a rapier. You're going to see your sergeants and other guys more frequently with this because in a mass formation, this is a problem. That's a 43-inch blade on this thing. So yeah, not so much. They have what they're called hangers. Sometimes they're called cuttos. Eventually it gets corrupted into cutlass. But they're swords with blades about this long, never more than this, because they're much more convenient in crowd. Pikemen tend to use shorter swords because it's not your primary weapon. And if it gets tangled up and everybody starts falling down behind you, you've got a real problem again. So much it can go wrong.
Hello, sir.
This is the guardhouse. This is the headquarters of the military.
Yeah. And guns.
These are examples of matchlock muskets.
It's work.
They all work. Yep, they are fully functional reproductions.
I come back here. First I need to found my friend. Church. Now,
you want it to have some spring flex to it, so that especially with something like a rapier blade, it's less thrusting. This way I can stab into something, and if I hit the armor, it can flex, not that they are having to throw the blades on the ground and step after each battle. And initially, I'm thinking, those poor guys and the rotten swords they've been provided. The more I thought about it, though, what the swords they're describing are basically hangers. They're the predecessor of a cutlass. It's a short, stout, chopping sword. It's almost always single-edged, which means it's got a thick back to it. This is a strong sword. Doesn't matter that it's made out of iron. What in the world did you do to that thing that got it bent? And if you are
Don't worry, it's like max 3% alcohol. And it's gonna keep you hydrated. It's safe to drink.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you doing today? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Where are you visiting from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil, really? Wow. Well, this is typical of a Virginia company house. This is the type of home that settlers are living in when they come to Virginia.
Yeah.
This would have been a good example of a large English house. Yeah. And just a few of the dishes that we're showing here today. We're starting to wind down today. It's been a long day. We're showing one way that the English are preserving meats and fish using salt as a primary means of preserving. And believe it or not, a lot of fish that these men ate is haddock that's being shipped over from England. Again, a lot of the fish is coming out of the rivers. Oysters, clams, mussels, blue crab. They're also growing a lot of their crops here that they grew with success back in England. Some grew well, others not so well. These are called everlasting syllabubs, and it's a festive drink, a cream-based drink that was enjoyed during Christmastide, during 12th night or 12th night feast. You would have syllabubs. Syllabubs are made from, and the recipe is pretty easy. It's 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 lemons, the juice from 2 lemons, brandy, cinnamon, nutmeg, sugar, lemon juice, lemon zest, and you garnish with nutmeg on top. And it was whipped until frothy, and then you allow them to set and separate. So they separate. It's called an everlasting syllabub. This was a popular drink again during the holidays. This is a meat pie made from chicken, carrots, chicken, and currants or raisins. very
Very
good.
good.
Yeah.
And this one is cup.
That's her coffee. That's her drinking cup.
And
That's her some of her needlework that she's
thank
doing.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Ahora que nos bajamos a Sayo.
A lot less energy than got transferred to what was behind the armor. Now, in this case, it was a block of ballistics gel that was behind the armor. But when we compared the results of shooting a block of ballistics gel just as is of a musket ball versus the result of what happened to that gel after the ball passed through the plate, yeah, you still got a bullet inside you, but it has done substantially less damage. It has transferred a lot less energy. It didn't go in as far. Now, depending on where it hits, it might not make any difference, but it does increase the likelihood of survival, of survivability. It gives you a better chance to live long enough to get to a surgeon, try to put you back together, that kind of thing. So even in the instances in which we see firearms really starting to take off, becoming more and more of a threat on the battlefield, this armor is still better than nothing. It's still protecting you from all of the hand-to-hand threats, all of the edged weapons, that kind of thing. For service here in Virginia, it's stopping powers and arrows. And while a musket ball could still go through it, it is at least, again, increasing the likelihood of surviving the wound. Older forms of armor. Jack coats, where you've got lots of little platelets stitched inside of a canvas armor. This is very cool armor. Mail, where you've got an interlocking mesh of riveted links. All these sorts of things have been, for a very long time, very effective armors, and again, for a very long time, better than nothing. Right, even as the English longbow reaches a point where it could drive arrows through a shirt of mail, the mail is still fully capable of protecting you from edged weapons and that sort of thing. So again, better than nothing.
You will not want to sit on the
Once
cannon.
firearms enter the battlefield, you've now got something that not only goes straight through the armor, but will take the armor in with it. Rings, plates, it's taking those pieces in with it. It is now dramatically complicating. So these armors start fading rapidly as firearms come along because they are now worse than nothing if you get hit with a musket ball. But the plate armor hangs around for quite a while.
Would anyone ever go like full body, like up to the